So it's looking like the Phoenix Suns will be fighting for a playing spot this postseason. That's not actually surprising to me because when they signed Bradley Beal and they traded for him, I knew that this would be terrible. And I knew this would be bad because they got three guys that are, I won't say ball dominant. Everybody says ball dominant, but KD can play without the ball. Booker is ball dominant. He's gotten better at playing off the ball, but Bradley Beal is just not the guy that will be the missing piece for them. I don't think he's the guy that's going to be the transformer here that's going to really take you to another level. I don't blame Bradley Beal for being this guy because it's not really his fault. He played in Washington for so long, and when you play on a team like that, D'Angelo Ruff said it a couple weeks ago. He likes to just have fun and play basketball. What that means is I like to make millions of dollars and play basketball with no expectations. That's what it really means. So for Bradley Beal, it's a real transition to go from literally years and years of you show up to the games, you go out there, score as much as you can, and then you just go home. Like there's no real expectation, there's no real pressure. Like playing in Washington D.C. is so much other stuff going on that if you're a terrible basketball team, people aren't losing their minds about that. Like the Wizards aren't known for being a great organization or an amazing team. So when you're not that, nobody cares. It's not a big deal. And then for him being a scorer, it was easy to make it look good. Like he looked like a better scorer than I think he actually is because you can be on a bad team and take all the shots. Of course, you look like a great scorer because it's all about you getting your buckets. It wasn't like he was out there, he had a bunch of people around him that he had to play make for. And when they had that time with John Wall, it was solid. They were doing work, but they didn't really do much in the playoffs and make any noise, so the expectations were never there. In Phoenix now, people expect him to play at a high level, play hard on defense, like he has to stay in front of guys. It's a lot harder now. It's different. And then when you screw up now, you were on ESPN tonight. Like this game was televised. When you played in Washington, it was televised locally and a couple people watched it. But it's different now in Phoenix because now you're playing next to Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, who are also superstars. When you combine all of those things, it kind of makes Bradley Beal looks like he has the worst contract in the league because he's not providing much already, let alone in comparison to the amount of money that he's making. When the Suns tried to trade him at the trade deadline, I kind of expected that. It wasn't surprising, but I was shocked that he actually wanted to stay there. That shocked me. It makes me think he might come out in the second half of the season and play different, play a lot harder, and he might have a different outcome, maybe. But at this point, I don't see how much could change because the Suns are just kind of stuck in this trap of mediocrity. And it's only really bad for them because the expectation was so high. If the expectation didn't start up here, then being so mediocre wouldn't be as bad. Like, I'm all for teams swinging for the fence, but I think that the Suns did it way too aggressively, and the focus was way too much on let's win today, like tomorrow. Instead of okay, let's set this team up to be really, really high level contenders in a year, in 2 years. Let's do it right now, but at a smart pace where it's aggressive, but not thirsty. I want to say, like the way they were making trades and making moves, it just seemed really thirsty. Like they had to win today, or organization was gone or something. And I've never been a fan of teams that do that because when you are that desperate in the league, bad things happen. They always happen. Now they have role players like Bobo and Tyus Jones trying to carry their team. Like imagine if your favorite team promised Tyus Jones a starting spot. And no disrespect to Tyus Jones, but like I even think he's a starting guard in the league, like he is. But that's if your team wants to be here. If you want to be here, I don't think that's the point guards you can have. And if so, all the other players around him need to fit better together. A team of Tyus Jones, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, like that doesn't sound appealing at all. That doesn't sound good. You need to have pieces that fit around there. I hate the whole second apron thing and how that works because it does trap teams, but at the same time, it's kind of a good thing because a team like the Suns shouldn't be able to just finesse their way out of this in a day the way they got into it in a day. Like, no, these are consequences for your actions, bruh. Right now, this team is at the bottom of the league in defensive rating, rebounding, all the real hustle stats, the important stuff. They're just terrible at it. I watched them play against the Rockets, and it just didn't seem like they were locked in. They were engaged. And then they're being drugged to be competitive in all of these games with Kevin Durant. KD has to carry them. Shout out to KD, he just got to 30,000 points. That's a huge deal. Like, not many humans on earth that have ever existed could do that. So that's super impressive. And you can see how good he still is when he's carrying this team sometimes, man. It's kind of crazy to watch how fluently and how smooth he can still play. I think Devin Booker can do it at times. He can play at that level, but it's not as consistent. And he plays a lot harder on defense now, too. So that's why Devin Booker isn't scoring as much as he used to, right? But I think overall as a team, the Suns need more strategy on the coaching side. And I think the rotations are a little trash for me. Like, you promising Tyus Jones a starting spot doesn't mean he needs to finish games if he's playing bad. You know? Like, they were trying to blame KD for turnovers and stuff, but like, he's frustrated. He's like in the my player mode where all your teammates can't make shots and they're playing trash, so you got to carry the team. That's where he was. I think in the end, we're going to see Kevin Durant probably not even demand a trade. I think him and the team are going to agree to part ways in the offseason because let's be real, they're possibly making the playoffs. They definitely won't win it all this year. So he's probably going to end up getting traded in the offseason. I don't know what Devin Booker is going to look like if KD now leaves. I don't know. He seems like he wants to stay there because he's franchise leader in points now. He got them to the finals already. Like, I don't think Booker will want to leave. I don't. But if there was any time that he would want to, it would be if Kevin Durant is now here and he left and we still didn't win it. I had Chris Paul with me. I didn't win anything. I think Booker might want to go on somewhere else and actually win because he's made amazing money now. But he's still in that conversation of you've never won it, you've never won anything, no awards or anything. He's not really in any significant conversations. Sometimes I think, how are we going to look back on Devin Booker's career? Like, as an individual player, what is your career going to look like? He's in a conversation with Damian Lillard for me. Like, a really solid player, great. At the star level, I won't say superstar, but right under that, that second tier, that's where Devin Booker goes. And I don't think he wants to stay there. I think he wants to win. So I don't know if he's going to look at Phoenix and say, yeah, I want to stay here forever and just figure it out. I'm riding it out. Not a lot of players want to ride out into the sunset with one organization. So if he wants to leave, where is he going? I don't know, man. It could get interesting this summer. Because if they, especially if they go out into the playoffs and they get smacked, let's say they do fight, they beat the Warriors or something, and they get in the play-in, and then they win that. Now they're the 7th seed, and they'll go out there and get just swept and just ran out the gym by a 2-seeded Rockets team or a 2-seeded Nuggets team. It could get ugly. Like, real quick, it could be done. It could be curtains for them. And if they get swept out, I wouldn't be shocked if Booker and Kevin Durant are in those exit meetings like, look, man, I'm trying to get out of here. I would be shocked with Devin Booker. KD, no. But with Devin Booker, I would be shocked. But I think he's at that point in his career where he wants to win. And he's still young. He's still a good scorer. Super healthy. Like, super healthy. I think D-Book might want to get out of there, man. That wouldn't shock me. I'm sorry to any Suns fans that are watching this. You mad at me in the comments. I'm just saying my piece. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. But, I mean, can you blame him? He's been there putting in the work. He's done it all. He was there when the team was terrible, absolute garbage. Got to the finals and all that, reached it, didn't fully capture the flag at the top of the mountain, but they were right there, and it's just been downhill since. I don't know, man. I could see him wanting to leave. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below.